think you might have muted yourself, Julie. I can't hear anything. There we go, you're back. Can you please repeat what you asked, as I couldn't
Yes.
hear anything?
Okay, so we were just interrupted and the whole system closed down. So after you went through the tunnel
Mm.
into the halls of learning, or they're telling me the halls of wisdom, it's a very ancient place. I want you to look around and tell me what you see.
Trilogies, loads of stacked pyramids, and that shutting down was a glimpse or a glyph that they are showing me, a glyph like this is what's happening with mankind at the moment. And they're saying this is a perfect time for how everything transpired in this transmission, in this download. Everything went dark, and then the light was shown, the hall of wisdom. The wisdom is full. And the words that they're showing me, within this wisdom lies certain challenges, like an obstacle course has challenges.
Yes.
We have to climb up, we have to climb down, we swing, we run upon the tires, we balance. If we're walking over water, we balance on a beam. And this is the changes that are starting to be seen in the challenges of what the wisdom has been held. And I'm taking my hands and I'm coming to pyramids. They're taking me to Bosnia. There's pyramids in Bosnia.
Let's go and have a look at Bosnia with those pyramids.
Many were shackled within the one pyramid. They're showing me many souls that need to be released. And they're showing me like resin on trees that's sticky, that we want to take our hands and grab the resin, but then we cannot get the resin off our fingers. This is the stickiness of the energy that's really below these pyramids. And they're saying that this is also due to humanity and what humanity has suppressed for such a long time. It has been sticky. And we're going to start wiping the stickiness off. Yet in these pyramids, in the one pyramid specifically, there are many souls that want to be released. And they're showing me that Bosnia has profound ancient wisdom. Archaeologists are discovering this. Many fossils will be found, many tombs will be raised. There are tombs within these pyramids. They haven't been discovered yet.
So, do we know who those tombs belong to?
They're showing me the ancient wisdoms of Thor, T, P, H, U, N, P, M, P. Can you please tell me what that spells?
What does that stand for? Okay, let's write that down. I didn't write it down, I was just listening. Could you repeat it? Are you able to repeat it?
T, P, H, U, M, P, M, H. That's how they've given it to me again.
Tafuma or something. It's sort of, it's difficult because I don't know if the T, if you say the T or just the P, pahuma, or tahumpa,
This
tahuma.
is an ancient god,
Right.
an ancient god of wisdom.
Yes.
And this ancient god of wisdom, and they're showing me as if we were to Google on what we have as the internet. And this god of wisdom has a massive third eye. It's almost as if most of the head is as big as my forehead. And they were just showing me different, almost transcripts, but definite transcripts at the same time. It's in the eyes of God. That's what's written within these pyramids. The wisdom is in the eyes of God. This tomb is holding this God. And they want us to know it's symbolic. This tomb is there. It lies deep, deep, deep in the underworld. And they're saying, as the release is happening, as the stickiness of our times, as we start to take a knife and take the resin off the stickiness of our fingers, one at a time, and they're showing me 7. We're in the year 7, yet they're saying within the next 7 years, there will be an evolutionary blip, a massive shift in timelines. Now they're taking me back to Bosnia, and they're saying the land is holy and that these pyramids need to be protected. Many are starting to hear about these pyramids, these ancient lands with the ancient wisdom. Utah, Uluru, Stonehenge, Castle Hill, Egypt, Jerusalem. And there's a place in Natal where the Zulus are very well aware in South Africa. Also many, many stones. This ancient wisdom.
Adam's Cat.
Please say it
No, it's
again.
in the Transvaal. I thought Adam's calendar, but Adam's calendar is in the Transvaal, not Natal, so there must be two of
There's,
those
there's
ancient
that one.
zones.
Yes. There's that one that you mentioned. And they're taking me to a place in Colombia. And they're showing me on the map of Colombia, the west, southwest of Colombia. There's ancient ruins that are there. Chile. And they're showing me certain pockets. Canada, in Alberta. And they're taking me to Texas as well.
Oh,
There's
what are
ley
they
lines.
showing you? What, oh, they ley lines. And so I was just going
There's
to say, why are they showing you these areas?
ley lines that are all connected and interconnected. And they zigzag. They zigzag. And they're showing me a graph of, you know, a polygraph test, Jill?
Yes.
Somebody's having a polygraph test. And that needle goes, and when there's lies, the polygraph goes up, down, 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 really quickly. And when there's harmony, the needle moves slower. And they're showing me in these ley lines that they hold ancient wisdom. They hold the lies, yet the lines of the lies that have been told. And slowly but surely, within the next 7 years, so much will be transmuted back into the different galactic atmosphere. So much of the ancient wisdoms and these specific ruins, and they're now taking me to the Parthenon. These lands need to be protected from us as humans. There's too much stamping going around. And they mean stamping as they're treading on holy ground. They're saying that the ancient tribes have been calling for this and calling for this and calling for this and calling for this and calling for this. Many ancestors around the world, the Aborigines in Uluru, the Maoris here in New Zealand, the Mayans, the Sioux, they've been singing and singing and chanting and singing and chanting for these ley lines to release. They've got lots of holding energy, and with us as humans going and stamping and stamping and stamping, it's not good for the land. It's not good for the vibration.
So when it starts releasing that energy, what will happen?
Change in weather patterns, which is already happening. Yet going back to the seasons the way they used to be, where cold is cold and warm is warm, the way we used to remember life to be. So many of us are talking about here in the southern Alps or the southern ley lines. Summer is not what it used to be. We have lots of rain, torrential rain, flooding. It's not warm the way we used to know our climate to be. In the north, they're taking me to the North Pole. So many of the icebergs, the glaciers are changing because their frequency is changing because of the weather patterns that have been changing. And they're showing me symbolically that even with the way we stand and the way we tread and the way we walk, as human beings is exactly the way that we have been creating the shift to happen. Most of us walk so quickly. We walk oblivious. We walk unaware. We're not walking, observing. And they're saying, I'm included, and I'm learning to slow down. You're learning to slow down. Your disharmony in your body is teaching you to slow down, is it not?
Yes, I actually had a meditation, which is very rare for me. I always tell everybody they've got to meditate, but I don't do it enough for myself. But last week, I actually put a pillow outside in the shade and I put my body in the sun. And I just observed everything and I saw so much that normally I would have missed. And I realized that I was lying on the earth. It was actually supporting me. It was solid. And I hadn't thanked it just for being there and being so solid all the time, instead of rumbling and moving like big earthquakes. And I think we take that for granted.
They're saying this is correct, that so much of who we are as humans have taken Mother Earth for granted, and they making my body move right now as the shift of the stickiness and the change of us speaking up is going to pay off. And they're saying that Mother Earth has always held us. Hence these holy grounds, the holy waters. And they're saying that you and I know how holy waters are. Is exactly that. Humans just, they pile in and they stomp and they stomp and they stomp and they stomp and they want to see and they want to see and they want to take their phones out and they want to take photos, hundreds of thousands of photos that never get displayed on the walls, ever. They're all held within a device. How are we supposed to reminisce and look at the memories if they're not up on our walls?
Yeah.
And they're showing me a horseshoe. And they're showing me how a horseshoe holds so much wisdom. One horseshoe from one horse has so many stories, doesn't it?
Yes, it would. It would have trodden over so much ground.
And also held many humans that have perhaps ridden certain horses.
Mm.
And they're showing me that this is important for us to become one with the connection of the oneness with the God, with our God,
Yes.
our own inner God. Source energy is source energy. It's not searching energy, it's source. Any pure water has a source, doesn't it? It starts somewhere in the earth.
Yes.
There is always a source. A volcano has a source, does it not?
Correct.
An earthquake or tornado or a hurricane starts somewhere as a source.
Immense power.
Correct. Immense power. We are all learning to take back our power. And they are saying all. It is important to remember all. A-L-L. A. Anu. God. L-L. And they're showing me the L's as our legs. For those of us that have legs, we walk forward, we don't walk backwards. There is still a load of frustration, and this is what they are saying as they are rubbing my nose. There's still a huge vibration of frustration as humans are not entrusting. Humans have learned to be misled. And as they have been misled, the Anu, the A, which is the start of the alphabet. And A is strong, Jill, is it not? It's got
Yes.
2 legs, and it has a beam in between it that holds those 2 beams or those 2 legs. And if you try and squeeze it, you can't. As hard as what you try, it's still going to stay in its form.
Like a pyramid.
Correct. Yet, we have been squeezed and squeezed and squeezed and squeezed. And many are using words, we are broken. Society is broken. Governments are broken. So many of us have allowed governments to take over. And the distrust has been misread for many, many years. Humans have created that platform. So again, they're showing me the A. And if you take the A and you look at it at the top, it has a point. And if you were to take syrup and pour it down the A, it's going to come down. And they are smiling right now as they are loving what is coming through. They are loving how much they can share with us today.
Awesome. Tell us more.
The syrup is the resin that is softening. So the governments are learning through the humans that are holding in the A, and the governments have been here, but they are starting to soften.
So they're sliding down the A.
Correct. They won't be governing
They
the
won't be on
way,
the top anymore.
yes, they will become syrupy. And most people like syrup or they like honey. And now they're showing me a waffle. And a waffle has certain parts of it that are indented. And then we pour the syrup or we add the fruit or we sprinkle sugar or we put ice cream on it. And they're saying that this is all a profound time of how everything is building and building and building and building. And the platforms are going to be falling in the light, not in the dark. So many of us have wanted these platforms to come down. And they're talking about the social media platforms. They're talking about the platforms of the governments. Yet for centuries we have built these platforms. The A has been built and built and built and built and built. The one part of the A cannot stand with the other part of the A. Comes together and then the beam across. So what they're saying is we can start to applaud ourselves. We can start to thank ourselves.
Thank you. What about
There's
this
been
year?
a breakthrough, like a Mach-jet.
Yes. What has caused that breakthrough? Where did we suddenly get some wisdom that was downloaded or something? Is that why were we taken? Why was I guided to take you through to those halls of wisdom, those halls of learning today? It was so important. It was so strong.
Humans are here to learn through their experiences, Jill, are they not?
Yes.
You are learning through your disharmony in your body what to eat, to drink more water, and to actually tune in to your body, to tune into every single organ. The guidance may come through like someone like Michelle or one of your friends who would suggest this or suggest that. and you'll supplement or try this and try that. Yet your organs are still storing toxins. And we hope you don't mind that we are talking about you today, as when the organs store toxins, the body is in disharmony, is it not?
Yes. So where do those toxins come from? Well, is it foodstuffs?
Yes. They're giving me a scroll from the air, from the alcohol, from the soil, from the changes of season, the changes of life, the changes of experiences, and overall, the emotions. Emotion. When one is storing emotions, and they will come back to taking us back to the Hall of Wisdom. The Hall of Wisdom stores so much, doesn't it?
Yes.
And our bodies store so many emotions. Every cell has emotion. Every cell is communicating with every other cell. Every cell is holding on to emotion. Emotion. And as the ticking happen, as the changes happen, as the time of the ticking clock is tick, 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 ticking along. Many of you have gone to digital, have you not?
Correct.
You prefer digital. And what we are saying, it's better to stay with the ticking. The ticking even brings a vibration of harmony. So we are not here to spread fear, as you are well aware. We are here to bring informed information to help humans that are listening on different platforms to know that they are not being dehumanized, that they are being upgraded, welded, put together in a different way. And as one becomes more simplified in their versions of themselves and their selves, one holds more wisdom than they can ever, 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 ever imagine. The knowing is here in the heart. How does the heart know to communicate to every organ? What kind of communication is it sending? What would you imagine it to be, Jill?
Yeah, I always think it is the heart that rules rather than the head. I think it's the heart that starts the first wave.
It is always the heart,
And
like
then
the
the head,
A.
and the head is like the computer, it computes it.
Correct.
But it's the heart that runs the show, I think.
Correct. It always, well, let's give you this to think about, Jill. What is the last thing that shuts down in the body, the physical body, when it leaves this existence?
Is it the heart? It's the breath or the heart?
Well, how does the breath form without the heart?
Oh, yes, this is true.
You are so funny, Jill.
Because I know they
Yes,
always say the last thing you just give you that last breath, but of course you can't give that last breath if the heart isn't pushing the things around.
the heart is always, always the first beat of a baby, the last beat of the adult. What does that give you? It can give you peace. It can give you peace. You see, upside down, upside down. Everything is about peace. You humans have a peace sign. How many of you feel peace? Or how many of you feel disharmony in your bodies? The
think,
body is always searching for
yeah,
harmony.
I think a lot of people at the moment, well, maybe let's just speak for myself. Um, I feel at the moment great excitement for 2023 because I've got projects that are coming to completion. I feel it's a year of completing things. I think 2022 was a year of letting go of so much. But this year, this big seven, um, I think that's exciting. And I think we're going to see a lot, and I think a lot will be revealed. But I think we've been holding and we've been waiting. It's like waiting and waiting and waiting for something big to happen. So people are tired of the waiting. They want to get on with it now. They want the change. What do you say to that?
We want to smile and wave, and smile and wave, and smile and wave, and smile and wave, and smile and wave. Throughout last year, so many different platforms were spreading fear. Spirituality has been misconstrued and taken out of context. Spirituality is one of the most judged places and platforms that you humans are existing in. Spirituality, spirit, all begins with an A once again. Spirit, all, everyone is spiritual. Yet humans have once again decided to control things. Humans have decided to create disbeliefs or belief systems that suit them. Don't do this, that's not spiritual. Don't behave that way, that's not spiritual. Don't try that, that's not spiritual. A long time ago, did Michelle not share on a social platform that you put together called 4I Am, where dancing is spiritual? It's a movement, it's freeing in the body. It allows the body to let go of the disharmony that it feels. It is natural. Have you watched children dance?
Yes, they just move. It's just spontaneous.
Exactly. Yet there was judgment placed that it's not spiritual. Luckily enough, Michelle loves to dance. It did not matter to her. What mattered was that it was in the feeling, in the emotion of the movement. Children, babies, when they hear movement, they will wiggle their shoulders. They will move their buttocks. Yet then they're told, stop. So again, we go back to spirit all. Everyone is spiritual. Not one is spiritual. Everyone is spirit all. Yet again, people have decided to box it, to control it, to decide what this is mine and this is the way you're meant to be. There are many, many, many modalities, which are great modalities to help others to heal. Yet everything is in movement. Everything is in harmony. Everything is in motion. Emotions are feelings, Jill. Humans are here to face and feel. Many forget that though. Just as the Hall of Wisdom holds all the wisdom, humans hold, hearts hold. When a heart expands, it lets go in the form of tears. When a heart contracts, it holds and protects, does it not?
Mm-hmm.
Yet it is still pumping the blood into different parts of the body. It holds and protects, yet it is still working. And what we mean by this is when humans are holding and protecting and 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 holding and protecting, how many layers of protection are they holding on to?
Well, then nothing can get through. How does the
Correct.
new get through?
Correct. So Michelle had an experience yesterday on the beach where she met a young lady, and this young lady works with other human beings and she gives them massages. And this young woman said, I protect myself all the time. And Michelle said, I sit on the fence with that one. If we're all connected, which we are, how is one meant to protect another one? And the connection, as the connection is strong, it is real. Yes, there is protection when one is being abused, we know this. There is protection when one is being emotionally and physically abused, we know this. There is protection against many different systems that do not serve you, we know this too. Yet, connectedness is the opposite of protection. And when one is open, when one's heart is open, you do not feel the need to protect your energy or protect yourself, as your heart, your spirit, all will guide you into the resonance of the halls of wisdom.
So, why do so many people who do this kind of work say that you've got to put in protection once you've worked with somebody?
This
Sort
is
of
a
they say
great question.
they say disconnect your energy or their energy from you when you're finished with that particular client.
This is a great question, and it is very different in the way that we have expressed protection.
Yeah.
When one protects themselves, they put their arms up. If they were in war, do they not? Or they
Yes.
protect themselves with a shield. So when one disconnects, the disconnection happens. Do you see the difference? Protect, disconnect. Disconnection is going back into oneself. Disconnect is a thought process of, I'm here right now. Michelle is connected to you, is she not?
Correct.
Michelle is connected to us. And when we disconnect, or you disconnect her from this download, from this direct channel, what happens, Jill? She goes back into herself.
Yes.
It's that simple, yet humans love to make it complicated. And we are singing this right now as humans will smile and realize it is time to uncomplicate. Many talk about simple, 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 simple. We want the simple life. Yet, we still like complicated, 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 complicated. Complicated is holding. Simple is letting go, Jill. Like being in a band. One plays this instrument, one plays that instrument, another plays that instrument. And if this one's playing incorrectly, it disharmonizes the whole band. Yet when they're in harmony together, the music comes across and is heard in a different way. Does this answer your question?
Yes. So really a time for harmony and just for allowing.
So we find it fascinating how when humans are in harmony and allowing, like you give the example of lying on your grass, it is a privilege to lie on a grass, a piece of grass, a piece of land. Do you know that?
Oh, I loved it. I
Sure,
felt I felt so grateful actually, but I
yes,
only felt it because I was connecting with it.
we know. And your body, your internal wiring system, your internal emotions, stop the suffering. The suffering, you are still in suffering, Jill.
Yes, look at me, I'm with this hay fever. Yeah.
You are in suffering. You are holding on to lifelong patterns of suffering for both your mother and your father and your siblings. We feel your heart, Jill.
Maybe that's why I'm blowing my nose so much. Release, release, release.
Your heart is releasing, Jill. Your heart is saddened. Have you not seen in your experiences with other humans how you cry for those humans?
I know I'm getting soppy in my old age.
No, Jill, you are not. You are becoming wiser in your old age. That is how you were programmed, Jill, to be soppy. What does that even mean?
I suppose it means sensitive to others.
So how many times has Michelle said she knew that there was an upgrade happening when she met you in her spiritual, yet you are being upgraded in your human when you met Michelle? As when an upgrade happens, vulnerability stops. Vulnerability stops, yet it starts. Most humans don't like to be vulnerable. They judge vulnerability. So do you see how it's always in the motion of the working and in the motion of the working of what we are implanting or what we are, and we take in a dropper and the dropper lets out, the glass dropper lets out a drop of liquid at a time, a drop of medicine at a time. And each drop holds wisdom. Each drop of water holds wisdom, does it not?
Oh, yes, that water with the wisdom. But tell us more about how we connect with water within ourselves.
So
How it
we're going,
connects with us.
we will come back to this. We want to give you this time to allow yourself to heal, Jill. As lots is held within your stomach, lots is held within your heart, Jill.
Yes.
And you like to create distractions, do you not?
Oh, no.
We applaud you for trying.
I tried.
You most certainly did. Yet what we say to you as humans, we are cleverer.
Oh, love it.
We smile and wave, Jill. We smile and wave.
Love and light, love and light. You guys are so funny.
We
So,
think so too. So
where are you?
yes,
Where are you guys hanging out today? Where are you connecting with us from? How does that work?
we are source energy. We are everywhere and we are nowhere.
Yeah.
We are but beyond the galactics of what has been shown to man. So we are in every cell. We are in every heart wisdom. We are in every soul. Every soul has a cell. Every cell has a soul. Are you aware of this?
Yes.
Correct. So the consciousness of water, as you are bringing this into your vibrational space, water has a hue. Do you know what a hue is?
A color.
Correct. It has a color. It is clear, crystalline clear. Yet it has every hue and every color in every drop. It is vibration. It is source energy. The oceans have never been owned, yet once again humans seem to think that they own the oceans. We will claim this part of the ocean. Yet the ocean has so much wisdom inside of it. It creates ships to go lost or to be lost. It creates a difference in the harmonies of what humans again think that they hold control. Yet the oceans are the ones that control. Are you aware of this?
Yeah, huge control.
The oceans know exactly where and when the water needs to cleanse. Hence the rain comes from the ocean, and the ocean brings the clearing. The clearing is very necessary, Jill, for the changes to happen. The tsunamis, the hurricanes, the tornadoes, they begin with water, do they not?
So that's all part of clearing.
Correct. When a volcano erupts, steam is what is felt.
Oh, so water again.
Correct.
Yeah.
So it's time for cleansing. It's time for cleansing on the earth. It's time for cleansing. Mother Earth knows the changes, the Californian fires that many have not enjoyed for a long, long time. And now she is cleansing. Now she is bringing rain to that part of the world. To a very, very, may we say, magnetic part of the world where there's so much financial wealth. And please notice how we are using Michelle's lips right now. So much financial wealth that many do not depart from their financial wealth. They hold, they store. The place known as Hollywood does not serve humans. It only serves itself. It is known as a plastic city, a plastic land, because of all the transactions that happen, all the swiping of the credit cards, all the plastic that people are putting into their bodies, all the changes that people are manifesting as there's no heart, Jill. It lacks a heartbeat. And we are saying this like this through Michelle, as we want people to know it is time for change. It can be a very plasticky, false sense of existence in many parts of the world. Russia's another one. And we say this almost with a disdain. Please notice how we are using Michelle. We do not like how these things happen, yet we cannot control them. We also do not have control, yet we have information that can change to wisdom, Jill. Do you hear the difference in vibration?
Softer.
Correct.
Yeah, much softer. So
Water has an intelligence of its own. It has and is connected directly to source energy. It knows exactly when and how and what is needed in order for the change, for the harmony to happen.
so it's like the elements, the fire and the wind and the water, all that, and the earth working in harmony with each other to help Gaia with the shift for humanity.
The shift happens vibrationally with humans. And when the shift happens with humans, Gaia feels the difference. in the temperature. Gaia is boiling at the moment, is she not?
Yeah, it feels like that.
The waters are changing. Fishes are dying. Humans can't comprehend the difference in consciousness. So humans that exist on Earth are incredibly empowered. And this is why we are saying once again, when one has a vibration of love, pure love, it is as clear as one drop of water. And when one drinks a whole glass of water, it is cleansing to the body. And there are many, many, many on different continents in the poorer countries that do not have clear water. Again, because the governments make the decisions. Water does not belong to anybody. Water, we say once again, is source. Water is pure. She has her own vibration. She shifts and molds and melts and cleanses and purifies and detoxes in ways that are being discovered. Talk to your water as you are. Know that know that she holds power. And you are all of water, are you not?
Correct. So therefore we hold power.
Correct. You got it, Jill, you're back.
Yeah, so people just have to realize how powerful they are.
Tears have a chemical cleansing. Are you aware of this?
I know you've told me this a few times. Tears are golden.
Smile and wave, Jill.
Smile and wave. So I just want to change conversation here quickly. Michelle just recently interviewed Mary Sharp, and it was such an amazing interview. And to see a human that was Mary, that had a stroke, lost sight in one eye, couldn't walk after she had been this huge motivational public speaker, um, such an amazing woman, and now she's completely rested and ready to rock and roll. And I introduced Mary and Michelle to each other because I now know that that was through you guys basically saying that this is a good connection. Tell me about some of the work that Michelle and Mary will be doing, because I think this is just going to be great for humanity. Two dynamic beings helping others.
With a dynamic being who is their friend. You are a beautiful human, Jill, with a beautiful heart. You are always helping others, and we applaud you for this. This applause is purely for you.
Thank you.
You still battle in your humbleness, Jill, to accept. Are you aware of this?
Yeah, I know. I don't like to be that sort of arrogant. I don't see the need for it.
There is no arrogance in how we deliver our messages, is there?
No.
So how could there be arrogance?
Well,
Arrogance is the opposite of love.
yeah, but it could be arrogance in thinking, oh, yeah, look at me, I'm so great. And I don't see it like that. So
Yet you are.
I find it hard to accept compliments. I think many do.
We know. And hence, in the greatness of who you are, who you all are, in the spirit all, how can one feel empowered if they're not willing to accept a compliment, not only from us, but from each other?
Yeah.
The complement is shut down. It is putting blinkers on. It is taking a mask and putting it over one's eyes. When one is not accepting of the compliment, one is not able to receive universally. Are you aware of this?
No. So that's very good to be made aware of that. I actually, when you were saying that, I was given the image of somebody giving you a gift and you slapping the gift away.
You've done this many times, have you not?
Yeah, yeah. So
And it
yes,
makes the
thank
other
you. I'll take
person,
it. I'll take it.
it does not matter how the gift is delivered. It does not matter how the gift is given. The gift is given from a thought of the other person already when the gift is being bought. And then the other person receives it. And you have both had experiences with each other and with others where the experiences and the energy has been blackened, darkened, pushed away. And it is hurtful to the other person who has gone through the time to think about the other person.
Yes.
It does not matter how a gift is given. It is given with love in that moment. It is given with a pure thought in that moment. And when one is not open to receiving, one shuts the energy down. One cuts it. One stabs it. One disheartens. One squeezes. It's almost like taking out the blood of another.
So
And we
one
are
must
being
be
brutal.
gracious. Gracious.
Yes. We are being brutal in the deliverance of how we are delivering the message so that we can get it across to others who are watching.
Yes.
It does not matter if it is a seed that is gifted. Michelle recently received a seed or a few seeds, sunflower seeds, from an estate agent that left it in the post box. And there was joy and delight. It may be perceived as a marketing tool, yet that human took time to put those sunflower seeds into a little packet. And when those sunflowers blossom and bloom, there will be joy and excitement for the bees, for the birds, and for the human watching them. You see how everything is connected, Jill?
Yeah.
So to go back to the gatherings and the connectedness and the togetherness of what you are all creating in this year. Yes, we are grateful for the synergy in what is being shared on this platform called YouTube. And it's a tube. How long is the tube? Very clever,
Yeah.
these people that put them together. So what we say to you is there will be a deliverance in the messages and the downloads as Mary has come back from a life-changing existence. It was as almost how her guides woke her up in a different way to start listening to her body as she was not listening to her body. She was listening out there, but she was not listening in here. Does that make sense?
Yes. The inner listening and the outer listening, like the inner voice and the outer voice. Yeah.
Everything is intertwined. Everything is energy. Everything is connection. Everything is oneness. Often Michelle will say to her clients, what you feel inside shows up on the outside. Many don't want to look at what is showing up. There are always reflections playing themselves out, Jill. Always. In every way.
So many.
Every particle, in every molecule, in every atom. There is a reflection. It is that simple. So yes, the connections, the crossing over for loved ones that Michelle connects humans to, in the grieving, in the allowing, in the vulnerability, in the noticing, in the displaying, in the love, and in the connection of how you connect in your readings, in the time that you give to others, in the connection that Mary has with many guides. Everyone is connected in their own way.
Yeah.
Many humans are seeking the guidance, and everyone is a teacher and everyone is a student. There's always a teachable moment.
Thank you for that. There are so many of us with information at the moment, so many. And some people, I don't know, they just think it's a competition. They don't realize that there's enough for everybody to go around. And that's always the part that it just saddens me, because you can actually see it, and my heart feels for those people because I can see they haven't realized how fabulous they are and how things will just come to them. It'll just come, and I am so looking forward to starting to travel now. I feel this excitement. I'm getting ready to stand on stage and share. That's how I'm feeling. Yeah, getting myself ready like for a big trip.
Egypt is calling you, Jill. We have said this to you before. Why wait? We gave it to you last year, 2023. You have had the thought, 2026. Timelines have shifted. Are you aware of this?
No.
We are laughing as we have implanted a different thought into you right now, and you are wondering how this is going to work out.
Yes. Oh yeah. No, but I've learned that I might have the best intentions to do something and something else happens completely, and then I've just got to realize now that stuff just unfolds when it's meant to.
Plan it for October this year.
Oh, that's a bit soon.
No, it is not.
Well, I'll
There's
have to
more than
think
enough
about it.
time. Do you remember the time where you were driving on the Crown Range and you asked for more time? Can you remember that time?
Oh, yes, when they told me about how time works. Yes.
Correct. We are reminding you about that.
Yeah.
There's always enough time.
Whew. We'll have to see about that. I mean, maybe October next year, but this year, whew, that seems a bit hectic.
Nothing is hectic unless you want to make it hectic. Nothing is hectic. Your body, as we are sensing and seeing through Michelle's eyes and vibrational body, is very open and clear right now. There's no holding on any level. It is in the eye of the beholder, Jill, as you are aware of this.
Yeah.
And the people are ready. They are waiting for you to command the ship.
But I think we need to give them more time too, Not everybody can afford just to go. People need a long time to plan and to save.
We say to you again that creates a displacement when you are thinking for others, Jill.
Yeah.
You have just thought for all of those that are ready and waiting. And those that show up will show up as they are ready and waiting. Those that may not show up in 2023 will show up in another group, or show up individually, or show up with other humans. You know the souls are being called. You are aware of this. You have been shown this, have you not?
Yeah, there's a big calling.
and the shifting is happening, and there are certain vibrational beings that are waiting for this group, hence you are being called.
Yeah.
The beings are calling you back to your land. So please do not create displacement when we say to you that the time is in. It's written in the books of the wisdom. Are you aware of this?
No.
It is written. The tabernacles you will see when you get there. It is in hieroglyphics. And when you arrive as the group that you are, you will know so much of what we are talking about. You will remember. Your blueprint will be shown. You will remember more than we could ever want to share with you. The spirits are calling. The land is calling. And as the energy is shifting and changing and shifting and changing in all the various parts of the world, there is a shift in humanity and a shift in consciousness. You will go from this to this in the next 7 years. And what we mean by this is the vibration of love is only what will exist. Humans will see each other in a different way. Humans will show up for each other in a different way. Throughout any of these times, throughout any of the information in the discourse, do you ever think that we come through to lie to human beings?
No, I've never been lied to so far. Everything you've ever told me has come true.
So trust in the knowing, not from us.
Yes.
Trust in the wisdom of what has been sharing as your souls are sharing our vibrational hues.
Yeah. Okay, so it's all the hues. I love it. All the colors, all the light.
Correct.
So we are the light carriers,
Always.
carriers of the light.
And the carriers of light are the ones who have the light bodies. Your body is going through an upgrade so that it can be ready. Do you honestly think that having to shed what you are shedding, Jill, is for no reason? And it is not seasonal change. Please know this. You keep saying it is seasonal change, yet your hay fever is getting worse and worse every year.
Oh dear. I know, listen to me, I sound like I've got a cold. And that's why I haven't been doing any YouTubings to everybody, because I thought I'm going to be speaking with this big blocked nose, which I suppose is ridiculous because, so if you've got a big blocked nose, just speak anyway. Here I am, big blocked nose, and I'm speaking.
Correct. Yet humans like to bring attention to those parts of themselves that bug them the most. And others may make perceived assumptions, yet it does not matter. What really matters is you showing up for yourself. And as one shows up for themselves to be of service to others, as you and Michelle are doing these downloads for us, yet for many others, we are grateful.
Thank you. And we are so grateful to you, for this transmission and for this, like a trifecta, the three parties. It's back to the pyramid again, the truth, the way, and the light.
Correct. That is how we started. When you started the session and sent Michelle into those walls, into the wisdom, into the pyramids,
Yeah.
it is all about the connection of the golden light, the golden love. The change is happening. It is not going to happen, it is happening. many humans are waking up in a different way.
Yeah. So I think we've had a lovely session today. Is there anything that you would like to end off with?
A blessing of light is what we would like to end off with, as the blessing of light will open up an expansiveness within one's heart. And as one's heart is expanding, one's love expands to oneself. And when one's love expands to oneself, one is able to receive more love, and one is able to give more love. May we please do the blessing.
Yes, please. I'd appreciate that.
And may we ask, is there any specific place in the world that you would, and all of those watching, that you would like to send the blessing to, the blessing
Yes,
of light?
yes, I would. I for myself, just think of the conflict that's going over Ukraine and Russia. But because you are such immense light, I know that you can spread it further. So I actually would like to ask for a strong blessing in that area, but for it to vibrate and spread over our whole planet, because I think there are too many that are holding that need it.
Thank you for that, Jill. Please may you all take a big breath in. There is one more. Again, to all the different countries, to the seas, to the water, to the planets, to the pyramids, to the ley lines, to the dark forces that want to go back to the light. One more big breath in, please. We thank you, Jill, for all your wisdom and for listening the way you do.
Oh, it's such a pleasure. Thank you for coming through. Do you want to go by any name or a collective? How would you like us to address you?
We are of God.
Of God. Beautiful. Thank you so much.
We thank
And
you.
and with that, Michelle, I would like you, within the count of 3, to come back and feel absolutely fabulous and disconnect from that God source. Be back in your room. 1, moving around. 2, feeling fresh and fabulous. And 3, opening your eyes and welcome back. Welcome back. Your you know how we disconnected and that you, because your words and your mouth were lagging as such, and
Mm-hmm.
then it
Mm-hmm.
was fine, and
Mm-hmm.
then it started again during that. But what fascinated me was it's the very first time that we were having a session, and
Mm-hmm.
it went just straight back to the Zoom page.
Wow.
And I thought, what on earth is going to happen now? Because
Oh, you're
how
talking about the
are you
beginning?
connected? You're not even, yes.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And
Wow.
then And then you just came back and said that that was the disconnect because of the dark and the whatever. And it happened as an example. I was blown away.
Wow, that's fascinating. Yeah, actually, now that you remind me, it kind of felt like not a hallway, but like kind of like a dip, and then I just saw. Yeah, that's what I remember now that you mention that.
Yeah,
Wow,
yeah.
fascinating. It's almost like I don't know if you've had this when you've done any talks, Julie, but I know when I'm doing keeping it real, when a person's vibration is incredibly high, there's kind of like a energetically, and I think we spoke about this with Alba the once, when the vibration's very high and the energy is going to shift, but there's other interferences.
Yes,
That's what I don't know if I'm explaining that correctly, but it just felt
yes.
like that. It's kind of like that dark had to happen in order for the shift to
And
happen.
that's what they said, and they gave it as an example.
Wow.
How the
Yeah.
collapse and then everything. It was so interesting. And in actual fact, Alba and I, when we were chatting yesterday, I said to her, I can't hear you. I can see your mouth going, but I actually can't hear you. And she said, what? And then she
Wow.
came back and then didn't hear her. And that's happened to us last year sometime. She said, ooh, they don't want us talking.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Fascinating, eh?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
So
that
how
was
was that for you
beautiful.
today?
Oh, beautiful. Just, I think I say this probably every time, or maybe I don't. I probably think it, but it's a wealth of wisdom, and I always feel incredibly, 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 incredibly blessed for the amount of wisdom that they share. And it's like you and I say in the beginning, we never know what's going to come through, you know. I mean, you and I connect, you get your download. Because funny enough, when I was in the kitchen earlier on, when I asked you for the extra 10 minutes, I was thinking and asking the counselor, okay, what's going to come up? And they said, Jill knows. Like it's that simple. And because I just don't know. It's like kind of like I'm this blank, clear slate, and I don't need to know.
Yeah.
Um, I just think it was profound, and I think that there's great change for so many of us, and change is what I'm beginning to discover is change is never as we think it will show up. It's as simple as us moving from Queenstown to Nelson.
Yeah.
You know, I wanted it 4.5 years ago, and it happened 2 years ago. And 4.5 years ago, I was ready, but then 2 years ago, I was like, mm-mm, but I like Queenstown. But we were guided. We were guided to come to Nelson. Didn't feel comfortable.
You had that feeling. You just had
Yeah,
to.
yeah. Didn't feel comfortable. Brent was the driving force. You know, I was like, I don't know. Are you sure we want to move? I must have asked him 50 times. Are you sure? He's like, we're going. That was in the heart of COVID, you know, to make the change, to uproot our children. Everything was uncomfortable. Everything. But it was a massive part of the existence. The not the existence, that doesn't feel like the right word. A massive part of the evolution of what was already shown, way beyond where I could even have thought timelines. Does it make sense? Am I making
Yeah,
sense right now?
yeah. I love it because it reminds me again of Alba when we got back from Peru. She said for some reason she felt that she had to start packing. She didn't even know where she was going. I mean, she'd been in that same home for something like 11 years. And suddenly she
Wow.
goes, I'm moving. And she
Yeah,
knew she had to go to a place with this big tree, this huge tree that she kept on feeling. And she just
incredible.
knew that when she saw it, it would be the right place. And that's exactly.
Yeah,
It's a knowing. You have it inside you. It's like I know that this year is going to be fabulous.
yeah.
I just know. And I'm not a scaredy cat anymore. I used to be such a scaredy cat, to share my knowledge and for people to think, oh, who does she think she is? But now it's like, well, let them think what they like, but it's this inside, like a force that says this is what you have to do.
Yeah.
I can't
Well,
help it. I have to do it.
well, 100%, Julie. And the reality is that I always would give this example. If we were told we had 3 months left to live, what would you do differently? What would you do differently with your life if you had 3 months left to live? Would you travel? Would you
Well,
stay at your house?
having a friend who's actually in that position, and he said to me, now that I've been told that I've got 2 to 3 months left to live, and he said, when you play these games with yourself and say, oh, what would I do? He says, let me tell you, you feel so awful that you can't do all those things. You can't travel. You can't do the things that you thought suddenly you're going to do on your bucket list because you've got 2 to 3 months left to live because you're not in your fabulous, healthy self. And he said, do you know what you want to do? You want to be at home with your loved ones. And you want to treasure every moment. He said, that's what you really want to do.
And that's wealthy in itself. There's actually been a book written about this. There was a nurse that wrote a book about being a palliative care many, many years ago. It's when I first started my hospice journey, and or working as a part-time caregiver for hospice in Joburg. And every time I talk about this, I'm like, damn, I've got to find the book. But it was there's she says that with every dying patient, every person who was passing over.
He wants to go out. There you go. Off you go.
Mhm.
I'm just going to open the big door. Hold on.
No problem.
Here we go. Excellent. Sorry about that.
No, it's okay. Um, the five things, one of them, the most, was having your loved ones around you, dying with your loved ones around you.
Yeah.
They don't talk about how much more they could have worked, how much more they could have done, what they could have seen. It was just like, well, I just want my loved ones around me.
Yeah.
But because we don't have 3 months to live, let's look at the bright side of life. We've still got a long time on this planet.
Well, we don't know. That's the thing.
That's also
You don't
true.
know. You
Yeah.
actually don't know. You assume.
Well, let's look at it.
So you'd rather live like you said, live like there might only be 3 months left.
Yes. Well, that's where, well, while our bodies are healthy and strong,
Yeah.
and
What are you going to
what
do?
could we
You've
do
got this time.
differently?
Borrowed
Exactly.
energy. This
Yes.
is borrowed energy. You've borrowed it from your soul
Yeah.
for a short adventure.
It's so
What are
short.
you doing with it?
It's so short. It really is. Hey,
Yeah.
it's such a like. I was sharing this with a client yesterday about there's I think it's called Starry Eye Universe, and I've shared this a few of the pictures where this guy's got a telescope, yeah, telescope, and he takes photos out there in the. This is on Instagram,
Yes.
and I mean, to see the different nebula systems and the different, and when you read that they're 400 light years away or 400 million light years away, and you're like, oh my God, like, I can't compute that. Like, how do you even compute that?
Yeah.
And here we are living as humans from the ages of 0 to 70, 80, 90, 100, 120 maximum. It's nothing in comparison to what else is out there.
It's a
It's
pun. It's
incredible.
just a pun,
It's
isn't
just
it?
a pin. Yeah, exactly. So it's how much wealth experience can we put into that pin?
Yeah, it's just great. And I'm just
Incredible, eh?
here quickly. Where did I put it? I started laughing when you were talking about taking so many photos. I thought, yeah, that's right. So I want to see if you can see this if I hold it up,
Oh wow.
right?
Yeah,
So look at his nose.
yeah,
Look how many battle scars there are.
yeah.
So I'm going to use that picture. Oh, there you go. That's a better one.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, you take the,
Yeah.
yeah,
Look at those
yeah,
eyes.
yeah. That's wisdom. So much wisdom.
So I've decided I'm putting on a course, and it says find your voice, find your purpose, reclaim your power. But I looked at that picture and I thought, no more battle scars,
Nice.
right? So thriving, not surviving. You don't have to have the battle scars when you start getting that peace.
Oh
And
man,
that's what I'm excited about.
I'm testament to that. Absolute, absolute testament when you let go of the suffering and the pain. And again, I'll say to anybody, we are worth the work. You know, I used to bitch and moan about doing the work, and I have cried copious amounts of tears. I have wailed with absolute deep devastation of the grief that I've held on to. And I can honestly sit and say that I have been worth every single tear, which I didn't realize. I had no idea how much my worth was worth to me, not to anybody else, to me. And it's a very beautiful space to come from where, whew, now I want to cry, where we
Yeah.
look at the pureness of who we are and the beauty of who we are. And when you get that knowing, Jilly, just something, you know, you've been a part of my journey, what, for the last 4 years? And I was defensive, I was irritated, I had walls up. Mary and I actually laughed about this on the Keeping It Real podcast where I met her and she's like, "You have like a dark like aura," and I was like, "What?" But I was so superficial in my love and light that I wasn't wholesome. I wasn't full in me.
But you were
It was not
learning.
about anybody else. Exactly. It was always, it's only ever about ourselves.
Your whole life is about learning who you
Oh
are,
man, proper, proper,
learning who
proper.
we are,
I
and
know.
learning that action and accepting ourselves and knowing that we are here for a purpose. And the reason that we are here is because we're special. We've
Of
got
course.
something to offer. So
And we're
I
talking
think,
about everybody, not just you and I.
no, I'm
Everybody is
talking about
special.
everybody. Yeah,
Yeah, just in case
absolutely.
people interpret that incorrectly. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay. No, no,
yeah,
no. I
yeah.
mean, if
No,
we,
I know
we,
you do.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah.
we are here. And I've just realized that I think life is about accepting yourself and learning to actually love yourself.
Mm.
Your first relationship should be with you,
Oh,
dating
babies do.
yourself, finding
Babies
out what
do.
you love. Hey,
Yeah, yeah, of course. Babies do.
yeah,
You know, they got no comprehension of the fact that anybody's looking at them. Nothing. And then we just forget. And then
yeah.
we relearn again.
And here we are trying to have relationships with other people, and then when things go wrong, well, is it any wonder you don't even know you're in the relationship with yourself, and now you're bringing somebody else on board, and
Yeah,
you're a juggling act, hey?
yeah. Oh, for sure. For
So
sure.
it's so fascinating. I could talk to you for hours, but
Oh, me too. Life is a wonder, isn't it? And when we look at it with wonderment and the miraculousness of what it has to offer, it's beautiful, it's profound.
yeah,
It really is. I was saying to a friend on the beach this morning when she joined us for an early morning swim. It was her first swim at 6:15 in the morning, um, and it was just beautiful, you know, just looking at all the grains of sand. And I was saying to her, like, this is the wonder. Look, how lucky are we that we are actually able to come for the swim? It's the mindset of getting up in the morning, even though I might be tired, and but how awesome to be with a bunch of people that are going into this ocean. How beautiful! How lucky are we? You know, and that's looking at those small little miracles, and it's looking at it with different eyes, which doesn't always happen, as you know, for all of us. So, but it's how we choose to look at what we can be grateful for.
yeah, just to stop, just to
Mm,
stop and
mm,
just look around.
mm. Oh, that's what I want to share quickly before we go. I saw a woman on the beach yesterday when we were talking about protection. Now we were talking about protection earlier on, and it reminded me because she's talking about, Michelle, like, how do you protect yourself? And I like the way they spoke about the disconnect and that, and I've got to listen to this again. But how do we protect ourselves from one another, actually, if you think about it, okay? And where was, oh, I was saying to her, as an example, when one tree grows next to another tree, like I've got three, you know me and my pot plants, I love my pot plants, but I've got three here, right behind here. And not one is going, ew, like, back off, don't grow over me, leaf, like, you've got like the whole other 3/4 of the table, you know, or a tree. A tree grows, they actually grow, some trees grow in to each other. They don't try and protect themselves from one another, but that's what we do as humans. You. And you said it, it's about the competition, it's about how we be, you know, there's so much to it, obviously, many different levels and layers. But imagine if we didn't have that you-ness and we had that, actually, the pureness again. And just be like, okay, there's enough. Let's all just share our love, share our light, share our energy. Then we won't have to feel that protection.
Be like a plant.
Be like a plant. Let me tell you, there are miracles for Jilly to say that. Can I give you another pot plant now?
No. Be gracious, Jill. You know why? You know why? Every time people give me pot plants, they die.
Yeah,
And
but you have to shift that consciousness. You have to shift those words.
yeah, but actually, I love plants in the ground all around my home and things like that, and big bunches of fresh flowers. That's what I really love.
Yeah.
And I was given a beautiful pot plant when
Yeah.
we moved into this house, and Max said, "Look, I'll look after it. I know what it needs.
Oh, the
I'm
orchid,
the
that
pot
beautiful orchid.
plant guy." No,
No.
this other one,
Oh.
and I pulled it out. I said to him, "There's one leaf left, one," and he blamed it on the puppy. He said, "Oh, the puppy's been coming in and pulling off the leaves." So now it's outside trying to get resurrected. So you see, it's
Oh.
like, anyway, that's just the way it is.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's a
Exactly.
conversation for another
Exactly.
day.
Just love it. Bless it and love it. It will come back.
So what would you like to tell everybody is to say goodbye? What would you like to say?
Gosh. Hmm.
I'd encourage them to go and look at your interview with Mary. I thought that was very uplifting.
Oh, thanks, Julie. It was.
Tell them how to get to see that, because that's really worth it.
Well, you know, it was interesting. And yeah, thank you for that. So just go into my YouTube and it's my last Keeping It Real interview that I had with Mary Sharp. And a day after Mary and I had the conversation, I was listening to a podcast about a woman who was giving a TED talk in Vancouver who's a neuroscientist. And basically, she said, hardly anybody ever recovers from a stroke.
Wow.
And I thought, that's not true. Because I was lucky enough to, you know, chat to Mary, and we're lucky enough to have her in our lives. But it is a big wow.
Yeah, she's
Yeah,
needed. She's
yeah,
needed. She's got so much worth. She offers so much. I just adore her.
yeah. She's beautiful, just beautiful. Yeah.
So sorry I interrupted you. Yeah.
No, no, no. I was just gonna say. So, yeah, just go and check it out, and it's inspirational, and it shows me, and it will show us that whatever we put our minds to, whatever we allow our hearts to expand on, we can make it happen. And that's the truth of who we are.
Yeah, it's uplifting. It's just
Yeah,
everything is just uplifting. Anything is possible when you think that it couldn't get any. Everything's like so bad, and my life has changed, and I've got nothing, and I can't work, and I've lost my eyesight, and everything. And then, whoa! It's like the phoenix, you're rising. It's like a rebirth, and I absolutely love it. And as she said, that Spirit has already made a plan for you. So don't give up. You're actually perfectly exactly where you're meant to be.
yeah,
And I'm hearing people listening to this saying, "Oh, well, thanks very bloody much." That's not where I want to be. Great, because now it's showing you exactly where you don't want to be. So onwards and upwards.
yep. And you and I know we deal with a lot of trauma. We deal with a lot of people who've had some incredibly intense lives where it's like sometimes I'm blown away that the person is still getting up in the morning.
Yeah.
And I feel incredibly honored when somebody's sitting opposite me in a session and they wanna they wanna work on themselves more. They wanna find out like how can we let go? What can we do? Um, so yeah, Julie, I probably for the first time in a long time I don't have many words. So enjoy it.
Okay, guys, you can see my nose, red, raw red. But thanks for joining us today. We love having you with us. And until next time, cheers.
Love you guys. Bye.
And we have to find the stop button.